Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Good morning, everyone.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So we're very excited because season three of The
Exactly.
West Wing, we're basically starting it now. We had that
Right.
amazing season opener, really.
Yeah, it was kind of like a one-off kind of made
Yeah,
actually later in the season and inserted. So this is
complicated.
right. For sure. It was post 9/11 episode.
Yeah,
And now we're getting into what was
it's supposed
initially
to be the
going to
beginning.
be
Yeah,
the premiere of season three.
yeah,
We left off on, I wouldn't say a cliffhanger, but we
eh,
didn't. Do you think we go
ish.
back to that moment at the press conference? Do you think we just move past it and it's in like, okay, so he's obviously accepted? I hope we do it because the last line of season two was literally Leo saying, "Watch this," and then we don't get to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we actually go back and get to see it.
Uh, yes and no. I think we might see it, but at the same time, I would not be surprised if they just skip
I
ahead.
if like a month down the
Yeah.
road and we're into campaigning and stuff, that
Yes.
wouldn't surprise me
Or
either.
if it opens up with like a recap on a TV or something,
Yeah,
like the
right.
news anchors being
That's
like,
that's true,
President
right?
Bartlett says he's going to,
CJ getting a lot of questions
yeah.
afterwards about it and everything.
I can see it being something like that.
Well, I don't want to go too far ahead because this was such a mic drop moment for the
You want to
country.
live in that moment.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's and not even of him saying he's going to run again, but the country finding out that the guy who's been
Yeah.
president for 4 years has had this degenerative illness,
Yeah.
right? He's had MS,
That's not going away anytime
right?
soon.
And I'm hoping that we don't like gloss over like, yeah, boy, the country sure was mad for a while
What's the
there. You know what I
fallout
mean?
from that? Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to skip the reaction and the fallout to that.
Because he's fighting uphill now.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Like the Democratic Party was telling him he needed to quit.
So I'm assuming this season's going to be up mostly about re-election.
I would think so.
We got to see where Hoynes plays into this. I want to see some more Oliver Platt because, we're probably going to need his character.
Oh, right, Oliver. There's no way
Right.
Oliver Platt's character's going away.
But
Uh,
also, like, Toby, Josh, CJ, I mean, Sam. The last season really seemed to be about, like, sins of the father,
right.
you
Oh,
know?
absolutely.
Because of not only, like, everybody on the show, their parents' sins, but also, like, Bartlett sins himself.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We see the Ellie episode where
yeah,
he is pretty brutal on his daughter,
yeah,
and then we see the brilliant Two Cathedrals episode
yeah.
where we see him growing up about a little bit younger,
His dad
and
also, yeah,
his dad who was a monster,
a horrible person.
right? Who was an insecure man who smacked his son in the mouth anytime he dare challenged anything, or offered anything that's challenging to him.
Which it's so interesting that they actually got into that on this show. I never would have
Right.
guessed they would have dealt with a theme like that. I mean, very much their parents inform who everybody is on the show.
Sure.
I mean, Sam, CJ, Bartlett,
Yeah.
like
I think Toby is the only one we haven't really.
the closest we got for Toby's backstory is a little bit in the season one Christmas episode, a little bit, and then also when we got to see his ex-wife.
Yeah, we got his ex-wife. We know he has a brother who's an
Yeah.
astronaut.
Yep.
But yeah, we didn't get a whole lot a lot of that.
Which I wonder if we will this season. But I
You know
also
what?
kind of like that he's the mysterious one. Toby is very much like
No, no, he is.
Batman on the show. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
no,
he's
he was.
very like much of the shadows. He's got a lot of secrets.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously when we had the 17 people episode,
Yeah,
we really got a chance to see not just Richard Schiff, but the character Toby himself
we
really
did.
really shine
It,
as being the one guy, and it was the perfect choice of him, right? The one guy who would definitely stand up to Bartlett in that situation. He's the one who figured it out, which I think that couldn't have been a better choice made there.
it's not, and he's always the smartest one in the room,
Hmm.
or most of the time, anyways. Because there's a few
CJ
episodes
CJ
last season.
CJ outdoes him sometimes for sure.
She outdoes a lot of people on the show,
Hmm.
and they never listen to her, which is kind of sad.
Right, like welcome to America.
I know, right? But no, going forward, we have a lot of dynamics we need to play with, and a lot of things we need to get off the list. So I want to hop into it. I want to see what happens here.
You bring up Babish, who I do think is going to be there, right? Oliver Platt's
Yeah,
character, who I really do like. Um, do you think we get more new characters? Because in
yeah,
in, in
probably.
in the real world, as a campaign,
Mm.
you bring in new characters, strategists, and campaign managers and
Well,
stuff.
we
Like, are we going?
candidates. We need to see the candidates too.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get a Republican candidate, right? At least one who's going to run against him. I have no idea who. If we, it might be someone we've met
Do you
already.
think Hoynes is going to run?
No, he's not going to. If Bartlett's going to run, Hoynes isn't going to run. He may not be vice president again. He could get replaced on the ticket. That can happen. But I don't think he runs against. You can't run against. You can, but it'd be nuts to challenge a sitting president. This would be This would be the most likely circumstance for
Yeah.
it. A guy that most people say maybe he shouldn't be running at all. But I don't know that you could. Plus, you'd be such a pariah in your own party for doing
I
that.
know.
Like you're challenging your party's leader.
Well, that goes back to like, let's see. We don't know what the reaction to this is going to be.
We don't
The
know,
party
right?
could turn against him.
But I expect but like you said, we're going to get a Republican candidate for president, and I would be surprised if we didn't get a campaign manager at least.
Yeah,
I mean somebody because they're real.
yeah.
In presidential politics, when you run for election or re-election, you bring somebody in.
We didn't see his campaign manager in the in the flashback sequences, did we?
I almost feel like in the first season, like his team that he has kind of was running the
I
campaign.
was going to say if we
But
did see it, it wasn't significant.
right. But I don't feel like in a re-election campaign you can be like, by the way, you're the White House chief of staff, you're the communications director.
Yeah,
With all the other stuff
they've
you're
got
doing
bigger issues.
running the country,
Yeah,
also run my campaign for me. Now,
right.
they'd be part of it, but I think you have to actually hire somebody, a strategist, like I said, to kind of come in and be that person.
Well,
And
that's interesting. Most of the time when we see this on TV, it's always like, people who are not president.
right.
We've never really seen an election on TV where the president's still sitting in the House and then he has his campaign manager come in.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that side of things.
No, or even in like movies, right?
Yeah.
Usually when there's a presidential campaign, the person you're following is the one running for
Yes,
president,
exactly.
not the incumbents. Because it seems strange to be like, hey, let's follow a guy who's already president, see if he can win again. Now, for this show, obviously, it's necessary,
Yeah.
right? I think it's going to be exciting, specifically since it's such an uphill battle. But I don't know, we'll see. Do you want to go and welcome some new Patreon subscribers from the weekend, guys? So, Mark Michaud, Jonas, Rachel Elizabeth, Jennifer Stump, Gilius, Jesus Perez, Brian J, Lydius, and Emma Needs Sleep. Welcome back, Emma. Thanks, guys, and welcome. We really appreciate you being here.
You guys are awesome.
Yes.
If you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Hello.
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please, please, please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the new content we've coming your way.
Absolutely. If you'd like to see the full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, including the entire first 2 seasons so far of The West Wing, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. You, of course, will need to watch your own copy along with us in order to be able to actually use the Patreon. All you're going to see is the little box you're seeing right now, and all you're going to be able to hear is Joe and I talking for copyright purposes, so you'll need to watch on your own device, probably on your HBO Max or your DVDs along with us.
If you're having issues with this, Dell on Patreon had a really good idea. He has 2 windows open, 2 separate windows, where the West Wing's on one side, or whatever show we're watching, and then us on the right side of the screen.
We do love Del Guy, don't we?
Yeah.
He's been around since the beginning and is
Yes.
always really, really good comments.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed interacting with Del. So thanks, Del.
Tomorrow morning, the president will direct the attorney general to appoint a special prosecutor. Yes. I imagine subpoenas will be issued to most senior White House staff, including myself.
Okay, so we are picking up where we left off.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, he's all rained on. We get to see the moment. Good. I was kind of hoping, I selfishly hoping we get to see
Me
this.
too.
Can you tell us
perspectives.
right now
Yeah.
if you'll be seeking a second term?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah.
And I'm
yeah.
gonna win.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Are we flash forwarding now? Now we don't know what the time frame is going to be. Now we know. People told us how they do the exteriors of Air Force One. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. 4 weeks later. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so it's been a month of crazy.
Probably a tight, hard month there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sleep, probably.
Nope. And by now, maybe committees. I'm sure the Republicans have been screaming that whole month about
Oh,
the
they are.
indignity of it,
You
right?
know.
The indignity. Oh, it's Ron Silver.
CJ.
Who's that?
Speech is written. They're
He's been in
deciding
a
few
lot of
things out.
films. A lot of films. Did you ever see Time Cop?
I have seen Time Cop.
He's the bad guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I wonder if he's the campaign manager.
That's the one where he does the splits in the counter.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I don't know Doug or Bruno, right? Those names are new.
That's what I
I'm assuming one of them is
Listen.
Ron Silver.
Yeah, FDA is signing off on RU 486
When are they gonna announce?
on Monday.
Come on!
Right before
You
his
didn't
speech.
take care of this?
Josh.
What's Toby's problem with me?
What do you mean?
He's got a problem with me, and I'd like to understand the nature of it.
It reads like an Andy Williams special. We're starting all over again on a white piece of paper.
I'm gonna take my seat now.
Sam Seaborn, everybody.
Yeah.
And then you say you've decided.
Running again, Abby.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get out of it.
Say what you have to say.
No, I have to go down. They're going to brief me on an evacuation plan for Haiti.
You're talking to Cabinet Affairs? Donna's setting up the call. Why aren't you smiling? I'm what? Get one of our people on their broadcast tonight. Okay, let's try not to do that a lot.
Yeah. So they're gonna have to talk a lot about MS. Like, here's the reality of it, guys. He's not dying.
So make some coffee.
Right? Yeah. A lot of the hand wringing and stuff has probably already happened.
And then they get to go on the campaign trail.
Right. Because you got to do both. You know.
Got to do both.
So we'll campaign here, then I got to be back in Washington to get yelled at by Congress,
Man.
by a congressional committee, and then I'll be back.
Just zipping back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. President, this is Operation Swift Fury.
Yeah.
On your command, we deploy a landing ship helicopter assault
So these helicopters land on the roof and
and then take the Americans and Dessalines to the Enterprise. Mr. President.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that coming, but that is cool, yeah.
Doug isn't here to write poetry. The purpose of his draft is to demonstrate that an apology can work.
He's not going to apologize.
Why not?
Because it's his official campaign announcement.
He has done everything but apologize.
You think he apologizes?
Personally, no,
and
I don't
his
think he
numbers
should.
go up?
I think
But
you brought me in 2 weeks ago.
I
because
think it'd
they
be a nice
haven't yet.
gesture.
They have.
People watching, let us know. Do you think he should apologize?
Like, to me, it wouldn't make a difference, but I think, like, in the grand scheme of things, he should apologize, you know?
He probably owes the country an apology
Yeah.
because he did keep it from the voters. He
Yes.
did.
Yep.
We need a new pole in the field right now.
Yes. I'll tell you why. Because the first one was bogus.
And there she is. Yep.
We gotta put another pole in the field.
No, I'm thinking it's a terrific medical advancement for women. You didn't think I'd be for it?
Of course you're for it. I'm for it. We'll give the pro-lifers something to scream about, and see, it'll look like the campaign screwed up, so the press will write a process story instead of writing about our issues.
What is
Toby, if he doesn't apologize on Monday, we're gonna spend the next 15 months being asked why. How's the First Lady?
You know, I think with everything on our plates, we don't need to be marriage counselors right now.
David, Dragon is all personnel secured. Dragon is lifting to Paris.
Copy. Dragon is lifting to Paris.
Oh, how's that for a transition? That's a dark transition.
Yeah.
The operation was launched from the deck of the USS Enterprise about 60 miles off the coast of Haiti.
I think the question was he physically and emotionally prepared to make a life and death decision after what he'd just been
Oh,
through?
my gosh.
He'd been through a TV interview and a press conference.
The Justice Department needs another $30 million to fund its suit against the tobacco companies, and we want them to have it. And now I wanted to turn the heat up and issue a release.
Yeah, they're totally stupid.
Why? Because offense makes people play defense. Leo, talk to me. I know what you're thinking about doing.
Quitting?
Resigning. I don't think it's like in the real world. Press secretaries, we kind
They
of go
come
through a
and
lot
go,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Forgot about
We know
Scaramucci,
before the
actually.
formation reached Port-au-Prince.
He didn't
if
make
they
it
were
2
in danger.
weeks.
Sir, we intend to restore Dessalines. The Canadians should tell Bazan if he doesn't move out. We're willing to move forward with military options.
That's the job.
You know, at some point, we're going to have to check the First Lady's temperature.
Yeah.
Okay, you first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I see you for a second?
Yeah. There he is. Yeah. I freaking love Oliver Platt.
Okay, so you're gonna need a lawyer. Actually, Mr. Babish, I don't think I need one. You do. I think I'll be fine. Really? Yeah. Are you prepared to answer questions about your relationship with his youngest daughter? This is NFL
Oof.
football.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer, man.
How much?
A lot.
Yeah.
You know, how much do you think? Assuming you did nothing wrong, about $100,000.
Yeah.
The kid makes like $600 a
Yeah.
week. Or just do what the ex-president's doing right now and just beg for donations to
Yeah.
pay for it.
The GoFundMe going.
Yeah.
Our economy may be stronger, yet there are Americans who work longer for less pay and less dignity. I'm reading things that would make the cast of Up With People sit down on the floor and cry.
How much faith and confidence do you have in President Bartlett?
I bet it
Great
starts
deal.
off low here.
21%.
Yeah.
Somewhat. 24%. I looked over the transcript and he hasn't apologized.
The injured Marines, have the president spoken to their families or them yet?
The president's expressed his gratitude and concern to the Marines and their family.
That the president's political problems make it more or less likely that he will order an invasion.
Again, that's not a factor. To be honest with
Yeah,
you, Carl,
come on.
I think the president's relieved to be focusing on something that matters.
Oh, that is a misstep.
Yep.
Just don't say anything for it. Just don't say anything for.
Oh, this is hard to watch. Don't get on her back. Just, she knows.
Yeah.
No one knows more than she does. She
She's
messed up.
bombarded with
Yeah.
stupid questions.
Right.
It's going to look like he ordered a military operation to cover up that.
She was tired. She said
CJ doesn't misspeak.
She just did.
If
We haven't had much.
you had a week, how much time do you need?
Some of us have had more time than others.
See, he's where
Yeah.
Toby is. He's actually
Yeah.
mad at the president too. So I bet CJ is considering resigning. That's what that conversation was Toby about.
I think so. You can't blame her. I probably would too. Honestly.
I would be at that point
Yeah.
too.
Go beyond Dancing with the Stars.
Exactly. Just walk off with the cigarette sings. Sean Spicer was right.
Yeah. She gets up there. Pookie.
That's showbiz,
You
kid.
got laryngitis.
Yeah, no, I mean, why? Of course the first round of subpoenas will be handed down this week. If we announce in 2 weeks, that's when the first round of subpoenas will be handed down.
The Republicans on the committees are going to hand out the subpoenas when they announce for maximum
This is a
embarrassment.
nice piece of
Yeah,
land.
they get like ducks in a row.
Right.
I'm running for re-election, and I'm gonna win.
End of part 1.
Okay.
John Spencer's great when he shows up in random projects.
He does show up all, like Connor, or not Connor, The Rock.
He's The Rock. He's
Is he?
briefly, yeah. Copland's great. His name's also Leo, and Copland's really funny.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man. Okay, so this was a very stressful episode. Obviously.
Yeah, but it was so well done.
A lot going on. Really good, like season premiere. You know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is not the premiere, but at the same time, it kind of is. You know.
Sure.
Because obviously, the last episode's kind of unprecedented, so it's kind of a 2-part premiere. If you really want to think of it.
Yeah. We get again where Sorkin, as we've seen a couple of times on the show now, does a really good job of time fluidity, of
Yes.
bouncing back and forth,
Yep.
of paralleling storylines
Yeah.
through nonlinear storytelling, and it's done so well every time,
Yeah.
including this episode.
You don't really see that in television a lot, nonlinear storytelling.
Yeah.
But it works. It works very well here.
I was pleasantly surprised with it, right?
Yeah.
We saw the president saying, I'm going to run again, and then we cut a month ahead. So I'm like, oh, okay, so we're just going to skip past all this. No, we didn't. We keep going back to it. We see everybody's clearly frazzled state of mind 4 weeks later. They're still, been put through the ringer. CJ's on the verge of quitting, it looks like.
Yep.
And then we go back to the immediate aftermath and like, my God, these people just got hit by a wave.
Yeah.
They attack, especially CJ.
There's no way CJ retires.
No.
There's no way.
There's no way Allison Janney's not going to be on this show.
The show would be worse off without her, honestly.
Right. Now, if you were watching this in real time, when it was on 20 years ago, you'd be like, is Allison Janney leaving the West Wing?
Yeah,
I'd be sweating that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, because and again, you never know how long the show's going to go either. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Back then you could have been like, I wonder if Sorkin's done. He's like, screw it, we'll have Bartlett lose and then the show's over.
We got 3 good seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Which obviously we know now isn't the case, but you certainly can't blame her for being in that headspace.
No, man. I mean, she really. I don't want to say she took her eye off the ball, but she got overwhelmed, man.
She blew. She was frustrated. She was exhausted. She was being asked just a bevy of questions. She already said she was not going to answer. They're basically the same. The guy that got her with that hit her with a question of, can he do his job?
Basically,
he's fine. Can he do his job?
3
He's
different ways
fine.
of saying
Can
the
he?
same
Yeah,
question.
and so finally he was like, he wants to be doing other
That
things.
is the definition of insanity, right?
Yeah,
Doing
right.
the same thing over and over again,
And
expecting
that's
a different result.
and that's exactly what the guy wanted. He got the soundbite that he wanted.
He should be a negotiator, honestly,
right?
Or interrogator. I mean,
You
because
know.
they are interrogating her essentially,
Right.
And that press conference was not even about that. That was about Haiti,
Right. That's why she was starting to get. She was really frustrated.
And that's the hard part of that, right? They have the
Right.
whole Haiti thing going on, so of course that's all that's going to be brought up. Is 24 hours earlier they had the whole press conference going on,
Right.
And I would
And that's all he
imagine-
wants to talk about. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that they cut 4 weeks ahead because I would imagine the press conference hearings, it's still going to be those questions.
Oh, for sure.
For the next few
For the
months,
whole
you know?
election cycle, that's going to be the conversation. Yeah.
It-
Because
it's
remember, they
amazing.
said they're talking about educating the public.
Yeah.
Got to educate the public. So it's going to keep coming up over and over.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next episode they continue to do the whole like flash back and forth,
Sure.
and they show
As
they actually
part
bring
part
in the
2 of
doctors.
yeah.
yeah,
You're gonna have to do, yeah. It's an uphill slog, and the frustration that CJ showed, Sam also showed, and I really like the writing there. I
That was a good
loved how
moment.
that was. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's going to be a standout for me for this show.
Oh yeah.
Is Sam really kind of giving it to Leo? Like she's had a week. How long does she need?
Mhm.
Well, some of us have had longer than others.
Well, what's interesting too is we have to get Mrs. Bartlett's perspective on it because she's going to be questioned as well. She's going to do interviews as well.
Well, she's interviewed. She's going to be subpoenaed as well.
She will be,
especially since she's a medical doctor, and it sounds like she was the one giving a medical
as
treatment.
far as public perception goes, we're going to get all these doctors talking about it.
Right.
Well, they're going to ask her, "How do you feel about your husband running for election, knowing that he has MS and knowing that you're a doctor,
Right.
you know, and so she's gonna have to speak on that.
Sure. I think the bigger issue she's going to hit with is, were you really giving were you like,
That's a biggie.
were you, intentionally and misleadingly giving your husband medical treatment he couldn't get from another doctor because you guys were covering something up?
She could lose her medical license.
Yeah, did Babish say something about
Yes,
that in the
yes,
last
he
season?
did.
Like, you could be in real trouble here.
I wonder if she could go to jail.
Yeah, she could go to jail for sure.
I wonder if that's going to come back. You know, it's going to come back in some type of
Oh,
way.
yeah, it's not done.
And
Like,
I would not be surprised if she does lose her license.
yeah, I wouldn't either. Now, the big thing is, and I think that's got to be part of her frustration now, right? She's mad at Bartlett because she's about to be dragged through the ringer, and I bet she wouldn't have been dragged through nearly as much if he would have said, "I'm not running again." You know what I mean?
Well, the crappiest part of all this is that Bartlett has really put everybody under a microscope.
And that's the thing, and that's why I think Sam and CJ and Toby are so upset. You're right, and I think they have a right to be. They didn't know about this.
Yeah.
They were just, working in an administration,
Yeah.
and now they're the ones taking the punches.
So when you
know?
asked me earlier, should he apologize for that?
Yeah.
I think he should definitely apologize to the staff.
If he hasn't, right? We
Yeah,
we
he
haven't
should
seen it.
apologize to
Like
everybody
I
that
said,
works for him.
we saw him apologize to Toby.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen him address it with anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that he ever told anyone else because he definitely didn't tell CJ. Leo did.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't tell Josh, and maybe he didn't, tell Sam.
Well, Josh knew. I can't remember when Josh found out.
I don't think Josh knew.
Well, he did. He was talking to Joey Lucas about it. Remember? And they met in the airport.
Right, but that was after
That was
Toby. Right, that's after they started telling everybody.
Yeah, you're right. Because they didn't really show us how they all
Right,
found out.
because that's when they were deciding if they're going to run
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
So Toby knew before Josh did. Josh wasn't one of the 17 people.
No,
Neither
he
was
was
Sam. Neither was CJ. So these poor people that are on the front lines of this
Yeah.
battle had no knowledge of this issue.
Well,
it's not their fault, and they're going to be dragged in with lawyers in for hearings to get attacked over something that they really had nothing to do with.
Do you think him not telling them was like intentional? Like he didn't want to perjure them or anything? I mean, like I don't know what the mindset was behind not telling everybody.
I just think
Once you tell Toby, you would think that he's going to start telling everybody. But also at the same time, I don't think he was planning on running again.
Right.
So he's kind of playing it by ear a little bit, you
Yeah.
know. So it's complicated.
It is. I don't think he wanted anybody. I think the plan was no one was ever going to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to serve a term,
Yep.
and then I'm going to back Hoyt's reelection and just say I'm not running again
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Make something up or just decide you don't want it. But it sounds like that was the plan, and the idea that he was entertaining running again, plus the fact that Toby just figured it out,
Yeah.
is what really precipitated. Like, okay, now we need to deal with this, especially if he's going to run again.
I'm not jealous of these people at all.
No, no, and the beating that CJ is going to keep taking. I get the impulse to walk out the door. It's like she is good. She's the front line. I get it. When you're the press secretary, you have to eat a lot of
You're the
crap.
face.
You're the face. You're gonna be the PR person taking all the crap for something that has nothing to do with you.
You're the face that everybody wants to punch, basically.
But I mean, God, she's got to be just a burnt wick at this point.
Well, I wonder what the catalyst is going to be to get her to stay. You know,
Right.
she's gonna absolutely crush it at one of these press conferences, or she's gonna be persuaded.
My guess is, and we're gonna see it. This is just me. Is when everyone's here in Manchester. Is that what this was called?
New Hampshire.
Yeah. It was in New Hampshire, but I can't remember the name of the episode. Manchester, I think. Anyway, sorry, it starts with an M. It's the town that he's announcing. My guess is Bartlett is going to get everybody together and be like, "Look, guys, I'm sorry and thank you," because we haven't seen
My
that
bad.
moment with. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's all they really need.
Yeah.
To go forth as good soldiers on the front line.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
They need a
Because
little fighter.
I feel like it's kind of clear that they didn't get that. Sam and CJ definitely didn't get it. Maybe Josh doesn't need it.
Yeah.
But
The
Sam
house
and
is on fire, and we didn't know it. Now it's
Right.
coming out.
You're right.
Yeah.
But Sam and CJ seem like they needed because Sam has brought up the lying a lot. Right? Did you notice that episode? He mentioned the lying a great deal. Oh, you think that it's more about Haiti and less about the fact that they're going to forget about the fact that he lied. And like Sam's the one who keeps using the word he lied. He did.
He did
But
lie.
bro, for sure, lying by omission is still lying.
Yeah.
But Sam is the one that seems to be most upset about the lying.
Understandably so.
Right.
Um,
And Toby was too, but Toby had his moment with Bartlett to kind of get that out of the way.
I wonder if Sam's gonna have a moment with Bartlett as well.
Got to. And I don't think we're going to get like a 17 people moment again.
No.
Because then you're just okay. Now we're going to get every cast member
Treading the
that-
same water.
right? Yeah. I don't think so. But I do think the idea of Bartlett getting everyone together, including the bald guy who I didn't catch his name.
I didn't catch his name either.
Is he the Doug that they were talking about at the beginning?
I think he is. It's Doug and Bruno.
I know Bruno is definitely Ron Silver.
Yes, so he's got to be Doug then.
He's got to be Doug, right?
Yeah.
I think he gets all of them together and be like, "Hey guys, I understand that you're having to go through some stuff that you didn't sign up for, because they are.
Here are the cards we've been dealt.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I kept this, you guys are having to fight a fight you never really thought you were going to have to fight. I am sorry, and I thank you for doing this."
Yeah.
I think that's what that has to happen, and I think that kind of helps everyone get past it. Toby got that.
Toby did
And that's
get
why, and that's why Toby's is handling it better than he would have if he was one of the others.
because he was pretty mad there for a minute. He was
But
pretty.
but he got to work through it with
He
him.
did.
And I think everyone kind of needs that. I don't want to sit there and watch it redone over and over again, but all as a group. Hey guys,
But also,
my bad.
we don't see how they're really feeling about it 4 weeks later. Because something is going
That's
to happen
true.
in that 4 weeks, So I'm assuming it does happen.
Well, in that time, because maybe you don't have to apologize to Doug and Bruno because they clearly got hired after that.
Yeah.
In that 4-week period there, and so they knew what they were signing up for.
Yeah. There's just so much of the in between that, I'm sure we're going to cover in the next episode. I just want to see it.
Yeah, I kind of want to know how this all we get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.